Good morning. It's the never-ending battle. It's the battle that never ends. And it never ends because it's a battle. And battles that never end, they don't end. They just continue to go on forever and ever and ever. It's quite annoying, but I do believe that with persistence, I will prevail. So, I definitely have not been recording all of the mishaps and ifs and haves and whatnots with the farmhand here, with the hay grapple. We're gonna go with farmhand. We're calling it a farmhand. Everyone, it's a farmhand. It's what I was taught when I first learned about these. We're gonna call it a farmhand. Not a hay grapple, but a farmhand. I'm a farmhand. That's a farmhand. We're all farmhands here. All right, so first thing, we keep finding issues, right? When you redesign the wheel, I guess it's not the same. You gotta start all over, every bit of it. So I don't even remember where we left off or what you guys know as far as what I recorded. But it was like 3 o'clock, 2:30 last night when I was done, or this morning, or a few hours ago, whatever. So I don't even know what day it is. So I made those little perches for the hydraulic ram to sit in, to push on. Definitely didn't do a good job welding them. That welder fucking sucks. I hate it. I'm gonna go grab my Miller on the trailer, the stick welder, and we're gonna use that one instead. Really lay down some weld. And that broke off, so I was like, okay, so I stopped, and Hayden was around, so I had him come and take it all apart and clean it up and re-weld it. Well, he didn't do a good job either. He used the same welder, not enough heat. You just can't get, if it works right, you can get enough heat and it will weld, but it's just that welder's not doing it. So it broke again last night, finally. So after he re-welded the perches though, were great, put it all back together, it was working good, went out and started grabbing hay. That little red hydraulic ram that was originally on here was a little bit bent when we started. I didn't think it was a big deal, but maybe the angles I had and the throw I had, the hydraulic ram was longer than it needed to be. So when it hit the end, it could still push more, but there was nowhere for anything to go except for pressure on those perches and the hydraulic ram. Well, apparently a little bend and the force we were putting on it just caused it to completely bend. Actually, it didn't just bend, it broke. I mean, the funny thing is, nothing's funny. Funny isn't like hilarious, isn't like insane. Bink! So it actually bent on me way worse than that. It was like that, and I'm like, oh, damn it. And I had some hay on, you know, because this is where it grabs the hay. So I had hay on when it did this, and I saw like, oh man. So I like picked up the machine, tried dropping the bales off to get them off, but they didn't come off because the hooks are, well, they're hooking well. So I was like, whatever, I'll just pull the hydraulic ram back in with hydraulic force and see if it goes in. Well, it went in. And you can see where it marred it up pretty good. I don't know how well that shows up right there. You can see all those nicks and burrs on that. Well, it's because after I sucked it in, I said, well, that worked. And I went and did it again and pushed it out, and I grabbed some more hay. Next time I let it just bend a little bit, and then it went back in, and then it back out, and I did, I don't know, maybe 10 sets like that. And kept bending and going, and finally just broke. Blew hydraulic fluid everywhere, made a mess. That was last night. So I was like, all right, I gotta get this finished. We still have a few bales in the field, so all right. What do I do? Well, maybe do what Hayden says. We actually just put some levers on there, big mechanical levers, and we just go set the thing on there, and then you just pull the levers, and then you grabbed it, and then you go set it down, and you release the levers. Yeah, quite mechanical. You almost need 2 people to do that. So I went looking through all my stuff, and actually I have a trailer that's in modification. It's a big dump trailer, garbage trailer, and it had a lid on it and stuff, and shelves on the inside, so I had some extra hydraulic stuff on it that it didn't need. So I found this badass hydraulic ram it's way bigger. A little interesting. I had to use their hoses in kind of an interesting way, but which is nice because now I got plenty of length here, so I'm not worried about that. But yeah, you can see right here, this is weld broke off again. So, but last night I didn't look at it really good, but staring at it now, looking at it, Hayden didn't do much more than I did. That's about what I did. So We're gonna pull this piece off, get it cleaned up, get it welded back on there together, and get it back going. So, the good news about this situation is last night when I was putting the hydraulic ram back in there, it needs to go here too, because you can see right there it bent the bar, because I had it here to be a little closer for the hydraulic fittings, but it actually bent. I don't know if you can see that. It bent that bar and it bent this bar by pushing on them too far apart. So it pushed on those and bent those bars. Not good. So we're gonna put it back here in the center, so hopefully it doesn't do too bad. It's all right. I can replace that bar fairly easily if I have to. I'm gonna have to take it all apart and cut it out, but I can put a new bar in there. That's why we didn't weld to it. That's why we bolt everything on. So yeah, there we go. So we'll pull that perch off and do that. Oh yeah. So when I was putting it together last night, I had to move the arms and I had to redo that, and we have to reuse that bracket because this part of the cylinder is too thick to use that little perch. So we only used one of the two perches we had when I put it back together last night. This didn't seem to bend or break. We'll see how long that lasts. Feels good, looks good. So the cool news is I was having an issue with the forward stop. So at some certain point when you're using the ram, it has to stop. And so I had little chains on there, but those broke the first time. I used twine to get me by for a while. That worked until it didn't. But now, luckily I got it organized. I put these in a different orientation so when they're fully pulled open, that this bar actually hits these bars. And that's what stops it from going too far. It's like a stop. I needed some stops on there. So there's that stop, and then that one does the same thing, right? It's open right now because the hydraulic ram's broke. See, that's nice. It hits, actually it's hitting right here, but it hits, and that's what stops it from going too far. So that's nice. And this strap right here is the one that it's stopping it from this forward one pushing too far. So it actually can push into that plate right there and hits that plate, and eventually I think it would push it off. Because I have I have about 2 more inches of hydraulic ram than I need. So when it hits full extend, it's probably why the weld broke. When it hits full extension, it's putting a lot of pressure on a lot of things. So I need to figure out how to stop it. So right now I've got this strap on here which won't last long. It'll probably break on that. So I've come up with a couple other ideas while I was sleeping. I thought maybe putting a chain on here, you know, a nice big heavy duty chain on here. There's a few ideas I have to stop it from going too far, but for now we're just going to get that fixed and get underway because we still have hay in the field that we need to get baled. We have bales in the field that didn't get picked up last night, only a few of them, which is that's not good. You can't leave them out. They draw moisture from the ground when you leave them out. It's okay, we'll flip them over. I'll have the girls come out here in a little bit, they'll flip them over, and they'll sit out there until I'm done with all this, and then that'll dry them out enough. But you don't want to just pick them up straight off the ground in the morning and start putting them in the barn because that moisture will be in there and you'll have a bunch of rot. I don't think you'll have enough moisture to actually get, to start a fire, but yeah, you just don't want to play that chance. Plus you don't want to ruin your product. So anyway, all right, let's get to it. I know I've kind of kept you guys out of the loop on this project. It's taken a turn for the worse. I was hoping just to do haying and be done with it and be popping on these little videos of production, but yeah, I keep staying up way too late working on this thing, trying to get the hay in the barn. So, you know. All right, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Let's get into it and let's hope for a really successful day and let's get some more hay in the barn. Version 2.5 or whatever we're on. So, got the better hydraulic ram, totally rebuilt the bracket that it holds to. That guy right there. Yeah, kind of channeled it out there. 4 bolts this time instead of 2 bolts. pinches the bar better, and then when I found this metal that I needed to cut down, and I was like, oh, look at that. It actually worked out. This was kind of a happy accident, but these clamp, so it just allows a lot more rigidity, so when that pushes on that and tries to rotate out all the time into the hay, because this pushes and then the hay stops it, so that's where the torque is. You know, at this point in time, we'll twist the bar, you know, worse than we can, and we'll replace that, but we shouldn't be pushing that hard anyway. Yeah, so bar's in, looks good. Here's my little strap to keep it from going too far, because again, the hydraulic ram is still too long that it'll actually push it until these things hit this and start to push and break that plate off. We don't need to push that hard anyway. That strap won't be used all the time. Most likely will stop when the hay kind of like is fully grabbed, if that makes any sense. So bars are doing good. They're stopping when the black one hits the white one there. That's what stops it. That's good. This one stops it when it hits right here. This bar hits that nut underneath there. So it's bled off. It just bled off a little bit while it's sitting here. See? Boom. There. Full stop. Bam, bam, bam. Full stop there. Full stop there. I like that. Fully open, and then it fully closes. So, super excited. Even though it's way later than I want it to be. I'm gonna go try to put some bales away, and then we're gonna go bale some more hay. There we go. It's not a perfect stack, but it's a really good stack. I should have started on this second bay over here and just leave a nice taper. I was getting greedy and trying to like make a big wall. It's just kind of, I was really curious of what I was doing with that upper area since I've never used it before. But if you watch the video on the bar wall modification and this whole process about coming in and stacking the hay and why we all did all that, this is I'd say it's a pretty good example. I mean, I got a lot of bales in there. I think we're 700 or so. Maybe that counts that. I'll have to check the counter. I'll double check all the counts, but yeah, no, there's at least 600 in there, more than 5. So, I mean, all 3 bays can hold 2,000 bales. And then if I come out here and start stacking up like this, I think I would just come in with this way and set them there. Just grab like 4 at a time, and then I'd be able to kind of like stagger them up, and they'd stack up that way. And then there'd be a big wall of them here, and I bet I'd get another 300-400 bales in front of each one of these. And then the alleyway is still empty, open. And then we can come in here and we can stack. I don't have a lot of straw. I don't know if I'm getting any. I can stack it up against the wall here, and then we can start filling in the center. We don't have to have it a drive-through, so I can put straw in from that side, and I can bring an alfalfa in from this side, you know, up to the center here, and I'll still be able to come in and get my grass, come in and get alfalfa, or go all the way around the barn and come in that way in that door and get the get straw or whatever else we get. So, all right, well, I'm gonna get the tractor started and hooked up to the baler, and we're gonna go start making more bales. All right, here we go. Oh yeah, thank goodness, this thing worked great. It's working really nicely. Well, after action review, doesn't look like anything's bending or tweaking. Seems to be working like it's supposed to. Looks nice. Heavy duty bracket, the bolts aren't bending. The bracket's bending. This right here is bent over more and hits that because it's only on one bracket. See, that bar has 2 brackets. Even though I've got a little extender in that one, that's got 2 brackets. That's got 2 brackets. But because of the cylinder between the two and whatnot, I wasn't able to achieve said 2 brackets on one thing and still have the cylinder on the bracket. Realistically, I should probably take these 2 red ones off and move this bar over here or something and just get after it and build myself. I did a pretty good job with that one finally. Build another one of those, but a little different because it has to be wider. The one I had already started didn't work because it wasn't wide enough. So get a wider one in there and anchor that just like that, and I think this would look good. This is probably the weak link in the situation right now. I hope nothing else breaks. I hope we just kind of deal with that nice and slow and steady, and don't get aggressive with it, and we'll be fine. All right, let's go build some hay.